Hi, and in this video I wanted to talk to you about how our thoughts and our feelings impact on ourselves and on our immediate reality and those around us, and also ways in which we can help ourselves when our thoughts and our feelings are kind of overwhelming us. So there are different things, many different things that we can do to help ourselves with this. So I'm going to be going through some of those things that we can do during this video. So the first thing that we need to be aware of is that our bodies are made of energy. Now this has been proven by scientists, sort of that spiritual industry are very, very aware of this as well. And, we know that if we chop our bodies up into tiny little pieces, like quantum-sized pieces, and bung them under a microscope, we'll be able to see those parts of our body vibrating because we have this vibration. We are made of an energy. And also everything in our physical world, every living being or creature, plants, animals, human beings are also made of an energy. But also our thoughts and our feelings also have an energy. And we now know, and it has been proven, that this energy will impact on our bodies and will also impact on those around us. So if you ever think about it, sometimes we go into a room or we go somewhere and we're feeling perfectly fine, and then all of a sudden we may feel a little anxious or a little upset, a little bit heavy, and this is because we're basically picking up on other people's energy or thoughts. So I feel that this is the key. This is like a fundamental key aspect to understanding mindfulness and more of a spiritual concepts. And by having this kind of deeper understanding or basic understanding, it will help us to understand why we're doing what we're doing, and it will help us to have an ongoing way to support ourselves and our children. Okay. So bearing this in mind, that obviously our thoughts and our feelings all have an energy which impacts on our immediate reality, we now need to think about how we can, when we have, these kind of more negative or denser thoughts that come in and feelings, how we can help ourselves in that. Because what I believe happens is that we have a thought, probably a more negative thought, which attaches to our feeling, creates an emotion, and before we know it, we're in this kind of negative downward spiral of, thinking and feeling, and often we get quite overwhelmed with this, or we suppress it so that it kind of comes back and bites us in the bum, as it were, later on. So we're not really dealing with it, we're just kind of stuffing it down for a later date. So I really feel it's important that we have tools and we have strategies to help ourselves, very much like what we're trying to achieve with our children. And I feel that if we work on ourselves as a first step, then, it's so much easier, and, to support your children, you'll keep that momentum going. So I do feel it's really important that we really understand why we're doing what we're doing. So say if you kind of have a bit of a feeling coming up, or a thought, more of a negative thought or feeling, and you know that it's going to kind of create this downward spiraling, then the first thing that I would do, and I feel is really beneficial to me, is to recognize it, and recognize it from my own stuff, so that I'm not kind of going out and blaming everybody else and getting angry, which is what we tend to do, as humans. We do tend to what I call project out. So we want to just recognize it and own it as our own stuff, and then obviously we've got to kind of sit with that feeling, and I know it's not a comfortable thing, I get a lot of stuff coming up, and I have to sit through it, and sometimes you feel so heavy and dense, and it's difficult, especially when you have to do all your normal stuff, like go to work, deal with the kids, sort them out and see people, and you're really not feeling your best. So But the key thing is to first of all recognize it for what it is, and just sit with it. Try not to project out, that's really, really key, because you're owning it then. And then the next step is to just sit with it, try not to let your thoughts kick in, because then before you know, you're kind of in this downward spiral, and it's almost like you feel it's real, you feel that is your reality, but you have to remember that these are just feelings and these are just thoughts. It's not who you are. It truly is not who you are. You know, you're much more than that. You're so much more than that. You know, so you kind of have to create this separation between your thoughts and your feelings and who you truly are. You know, and if once you start creating that gap by thinking like that, that also helps you don't get caught up in this deluge of density, negative emotions. You're not projecting out. You know, you're already just being with it, just sitting with it. And as I said, I know it's not comfortable, but I'm going to just in a moment give you a couple of techniques to help you to kind of let go, just release those negative feelings, those more denser feelings. Another thing that you can do is say it out loud, and I don't necessarily mean talk to someone, but just by voicing it, already you're creating more of this gap, and it won't feel as big. It will already start that process of releasing. What I try and do as well is I try and feel it and try and go where my head doesn't want me to go. You know, it's almost like you think of the worst case scenario and feel it to be the worst case scenario, but I don't get carried away with it. It's a very kind of controlled feeling. But I just, you know, because I'm feeling it, I'm not suppressing it, I'm not trying to forget about it and sweep it into the carpet. I just absolutely feel it, go with it as far as I can go with it. You know, kind of an hour or two later, I feel so much better, and it's like it's cleared, you know, and I've shifted a little bit with it. So that's a really good thing to do. Another very simple thing that you can do, if you can, because it's not always possible in the moment, obviously, depending on our personal circumstances, but just go out, be in nature. Don't be in a busy town where there are loads of other people. Just try and be, you know, in the fields or in the woods, you know, and that will just kind of lift you, you know, uplifts you, and you'll feel so much better, so much calmer, so much more centered after you've been able to do that. And just pay attention to the things that you see around you. This will also really, really help, especially when you're going through your stuff. And I'm now going to show you a procedure. It's a channel through procedure. It's using energy. It's very, very simple. And I always say that anyone can channel energy. Anyone can work with energy. And I'm just going to show you a very, very simple visualization procedure that you can use when you're feeling kind of that density of emotion, when you're feeling an overwhelm, an upset, an anger, whatever, any of those more negative emotions. So we're going to work with the heart space, and when we work with the heart space, we're able to bring through more of those feelings of love, those higher feelings. You know, it's all things like compassion, love, unconditional love, joy, all those sorts of things that will, you know, really help us to release that negativity. And in fact, the negativity won't be able to come in so much because you're strengthening that love. You're strengthening more of those positive emotions. So what we do is we just take our right hand and we visualize a vibrant emerald green light. That's all you need to do, just coming out of that hand. You just set that intent. Don't go into a head trip around it. We just know that we all have that ability to channel energy. You're going to put your hand over your heart space, your heart, what we call the heart chakra, for those of you that don't know. And we're just going to visualize, maybe close your eyes, get into a comfortable place. Make sure you're not going to be disturbed for the next few minutes. And we're just going to set the intent to bring through and visualize that higher vibrational emerald green light now. So just feel it or sense it or see it coming out of your right hand and going into the heart. You're just going to take a few minutes now to do that. And you're just going to sense, see or feel this energy going into the heart space. And from the heart space, I just want you to sense, see or feel this energy traveling around your body, going up into the chest area, neck area, into the head area, down your arms, down into your pelvic area, abdominal area, pelvic area, down your legs, out through your feet, down your arms also, and out through your hands and fingertips. And just feel your body absorbing this high frequency emerald green light, and just know that this is going to help release any negativity that you may have and bring in more relaxation. So you're just releasing the tension, bringing in the relaxation, and just feel your body relaxing. It's just setting your intent. That's what it's about. Okay, and then when you feel you're done, you just stop and you just let go. Okay, so that's a really, really good technique, your emerald green technique to use. It's an ancient procedure. It's not one that I've brought through, but you know, as I said, moments later, I always think it's pretty miraculous actually, because moments later, once I've done that, I've found that space to be able to do it, I feel totally different afterwards, and it's so empowering really to think that you can do that for yourself. Okay, so the next thing that I wanted to talk to you about is meditation. So obviously, if you've been looking into the Advanced Nurture for Kids program, you'll know that there's a big module on meditation. You've also got a separate button all about meditation for children, because I think this is one of the most wonderful tools that you can give your child and you can give yourself to do. Now, I would try and build up, if you are drawn to doing meditation, I would try and build up to doing it, you know, once a day if you can. But I don't expect anyone to start from nothing to meditating once a day. It's one of those things that you'll have to build up slowly, especially if you're doing that with your child. Meditation is an ancient practice. It is part of mindfulness as well. And you get many different types of meditations. You get visualization meditations, you get breathing meditations, you get frequency, like energy meditations, which is something that I do. I love visualization and I love frequency meditations, and these are the two things that I do regularly. I do most days now. And I've really, over the years, really seen huge benefits to the way that I deal with things. It's something that I would recommend doing at night before you go to sleep or first thing in the morning, and it just sets you up for the day, or gives you, you know, allows you to have a good night's sleep because the body's relaxed, the mind's relaxed. And you'll just start to see, as you do it frequently, and I mean, you know, try and build up to every day, that you'll start to respond to life in a much calmer way. You know, you'll see things differently. You really will get that shift in perception. So, you know, it's something that I really recommend. And also for children, there is no reason why they can't meditate, and they often love it, especially if you present it in a positive way. Don't force them to do it, but just, you know, gradually introduce it. And you'll see in my module, in my Advanced Nurture for Kids program, you'll see different ways that you can introduce that to your child. Now, on YouTube, you have loads and loads of free meditations. So you could just go onto YouTube and type something like meditation for sleeplessness, meditation for anxiety, you know, meditation for releasing fear, whatever it is you're working on at that particular moment, you can find one. I can guarantee you'll be able to find one on it. You know, and you'll probably, as you get more discerning and start to use them more, you'll find that there'll be some that you'll resonate more with, you know, that voices you'll resonate more with, and some that you just can't grasp at all and just, you know, just don't resonate with. And that's absolutely fine, because I feel everyone's different. You know, I think it's an energy thing at the end of the day, but, you know, just go with what feels right for you in the moment. So I would suggest just starting, you know, every few days with just a few minutes. You know, if you might find you really get into it, so yeah, go ahead, you know, try and do it every day, you know. And it's as I said, it's a really good tool and a really good practice to be getting into. So the benefits of meditation are manifold. I could go on all day about all the different things that meditation can do for us, and this has been absolutely proven by science to work and have amazing benefits for the mind and the body. So, you know, first and foremost, it, you know, completely relaxes the body, it releases tension, it helps with sleeplessness, it lowers the heart rate, you know, it helps with focus and concentration. It will help ultimately with relationships as well, because you'll start to relax more, you'll start to see things in a different way that will, you know, help you to resolve conflict or help you with any ongoing concerns that you may have at the moment. So as I said, there are many different benefits to meditation. There is a whole module on the portal with sort of information about meditations for adults, and as I said, for children there's a whole module on that in the Nurture for Kids program, which is also on the portal. Okay. Sorry, I forgot to mention, I have been putting on some of my own meditations as well, which you can find in the portal. So just have a look around. You can always start off with mine, but as I said, on YouTube, there are plenty of things as well to help you. The last thing that I wanted to go through was setting up what I call a sacred space for meditation. Now, this is something that I go through for children in my Advanced Nurture for Kids program, and you'll find that there are things that I kind of go over because for me they're really important. So at home I have what I like to call a sacred or special space. I've got one in my living room. I'm just looking at it now, it's across the room there, and I've also got one in my bedroom on my bedside table. And the boys have got their own as well in their bedrooms. So basically it's just somewhere where, for me, the one in the living room, this is where I do my energy healing. I have clients that come and I do my energy healing there. And when I do my discussions, I sit next to my, it's almost like, I suppose you could call it an altar, or, call it what you will, but it's this special place. And it's just, for me, it honours my practice, it honours my space, my time, and what I'm trying to achieve. And on it, I'm looking over there now, on it I have lots of different crystals. I have this big log that looks a bit like driftwood, and I've wrapped fairy lights around it. I have some cherubs, I love cherubs. I think I mentioned my crystals. I've got a huge piece of amethyst and calcite and different things. And I also have candles, which I light when I'm about to run energy, or I have a client that comes in, because it just feels a little bit like a ritual. And it just feels very calming and relaxing. And you're going to start your, before you start your meditation, you could light your candles. I just find it really honouring of what you're doing. I also have plants as well, because they have a certain vibration, a certain energy, as I was talking about, which brings that and lifts the space around there. So in my son's rooms, I have two sons, they have a collection of crystals, and you'll probably find that children really resonate with crystals. They absolutely love them. So they have plenty of crystals. They have, stones, pebbles they've found, pine cones sometimes. Pictures, like my eldest is very shamanic. He loves things like wolves and tigers and snakes, and so he has a big picture of I think it's a mountain wolf, a snow wolf or something that he has there, which he really resonates with. You could allow them picture, or let them have pictures, that are special to them, anything that's special to them. They have a plant as well. You could always buy artificial plants if you weren't keen on the real plants. They have fairy lights, and I don't allow them real candles because they are quite young, but you can get the fake candles as well. It just kind of creates that kind of twinkly feel, that nurturing feel. And as I said, I also have a little space in my bedroom, because I do a lot of my personal meditation and my personal work upstairs in the bedroom. So on my bedside table, I have a few pieces of crystal and some candles, which I just light before I meditate, or before I do, or especially before I do my healing work, my energy work. So that's a little bit about how you could start to support yourself, and just to be aware that, we have our thoughts and our feelings that impact on others and impact on ourselves. So, just even if this is your main takeaway from this video, that your thoughts and your feelings will impact on others, and just to be aware of that, and then just remembering the sorts of things you can do by going and having walks in nature, or do your visualization, your emerald light visualization into your heart area, saying your fears and your upsets and worries out loud, meditating, working up to meditating daily, all those things will really start to support you, so that you can start to support your children a little bit more.